Welcome to What the Fit, a podcast about what it means to be fit, whatever the fuck that means. Ali Trebbi, welcome back to What the Fit.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited.
I'm always
to be
excited
here.
to like see you and talk to you and catch up with you.
It's been a minute.
I know. It was the last time you were on when you interviewed me.
I think so. Yes, for your 5 year, I think.
5 year.
So what year are we in now?
I had 7 years in July.
Okay.
So this coming in 2026 will be 8.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
But so fun. Yeah. When you interviewed me, I was spending a lot of time with you doing like acupuncture work. We were doing like some Enneagram stuff. We were doing like somatic work.
Yeah.
You had me, I remember that one, you would come to my house and you'd shake the feet.
Yes.
What was that?
It was like it's a combination of some somatic work and lymphatic work that was kind of being blended. Yeah. You were a part of like the trial of things to come.
I love being a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Truly, I do. And the things to come are the program that you're here to talk about, the Authentic Living Program.
Authentic Living Method, yes.
The Authentic Living Method. Okay, great. Make sure we get that. And I think that this is coming at such a important time because as I was like reading about it and starting to familiarize myself a little bit, I was like, there are so many people I would imagine who are feeling the way that you described and where it just feels like I am doing everything right. In fact, I sat on this podcast not too long ago in my like crash out stage being like, I'm doing everything. Why do I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels? Why do I feel like I'm getting nowhere? Lately, I've been on this kick about like, I have so much awareness, okay? Like I got it. Like I am so fucking aware.
Now what?
Now what?
Yeah.
Right? Now
yes,
what?
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's just going to be like a good timing.
And that's kind of the basis of why this has all become a thing and what I wanted to focus on with my work. So just hearing that over and over and over again. And we are in, just like we kind of briefly before, this culture is, if a little bit is good, a lot is even better. And so we're just like inundating ourselves with like, oh, what else? What like the creatine down your throat every day and the lifting heavy and all the things that you're like, okay, this is the other thing I have to do. And this is the other thing I have to do. It's so much in our face all the time about all the things we have to do. And it's overwhelming. And then you're just like, I feel like crap. I'm doing all of these things and I'm trying. Feel like crap. Yeah.
I'm spending lots of money at least.
Right.
Shouldn't
and effort and time and thinking about it every day. And it's exhausting.
And I feel like it's not only the like what you could be like doing more of in terms of like kind of like a physical tangible aspect, but I feel like then there's also like what's coming to mind is like this like anxious attachment, disorganized attachment, avoidant attachment. And so like you get like one little hit of that and then it's like everywhere in your face.
Right. You see it all.
You see it everywhere and then you're like thinking about it constantly and you're like, why am I doing this? Is this
right? Almost that like when awareness kind of like does the counter effect where it's like you see it too much and then you like are overthinking it and seeing it through that lens so much that you're over analyzing everything that you're doing. And then that's a whole other like, causing more problems.
I just went through that kind of cycle where I was like in this place where I was like, I feel like I'm constantly in this state of self-assessment.
Right. And we don't want to be living that. No.
And it really, what I think what was coming through was like anxiety. Right. Yeah. So then it was like, oh, okay. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you like managing this? Okay. Are you acting in this way? Okay. Or, it's like this like check in all the time, but not in like a present check in like a, what can we find wrong?
Right. Over analyzing it and overthinking it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So before we dive into this though, for people who may not be familiar with you and your work and your background, give us just like a little, little story time of kind of how you got to where you are today.
Well, my career has been primarily as an acupuncturist. I've been in practice almost 20 years now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Because I can remember like 10 years ago being like, I wonder if I'll keep doing this or if I should like, is there a pivot? But, I love my practice. I just cannot believe it's been 20 years. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. So 20 years is that. And always just like a lifetime learning, to keep, I think, my practice fresh. I was always doing like new certifications and learning new things to bring it into my practice and what else can I learn so I can bring it into the treatment room. So That's been about 20 years of just like building and learning. And yeah. And I have 2 kids. My daughter's now 19 and a freshman in college, which is insane.
Is she away or she's
Yeah, she's at Auburn.
Oh.
Yeah, down in Alabama.
How was that?
The saying goodbye to her was the hardest thing I think I've had to do. It was horrible. And like moms have always said that, taking your kids to college. I'm like, it won't be that bad. Like, I'm so excited for her to start this chapter of her life. I'm just like, it's going to be amazing. Yes, yeah. I was so proud of her for choosing to go there. It was like, do I go to Miami or do I branch out and do Auburn? And it was a very big and hard decision for her. So I was just so proud and excited. And then the moment comes to leave and she was bawling her face off and holding me so tight and like, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I can't do this.
It's like you're in kindergarten again.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, do we just like go get in the car? Like, just forget this dumb idea. It was horrible. And then I got in the car to leave. I was with her dad, my ex-husband. And I was like, I can't believe we're just going to drive away, leaving her here. So luckily her roommates were all there and had said goodbye to their parents already. And they kind of like scooped her in. But she's doing really, really well. And that's great.
That's like such the funny thing about grief, right? Because like you will be definitely going through like this grieving
loss of her.
In that way that you know her.
It feels weird to like there's just an emptiness at the house where there's like just a gap there.
For sure. And it's interesting at that kind of like point where you're so happy for them.
Yes.
And also then
so
just
sad.
Like so sad.
Yeah. Like when she was home last time at Christmas, she's like, I'm after this summer, I may not ever live with you again. And I was like, oh, let's not talk about that.
Yeah. That's so funny. I like think about my going away to college experience, which I remember like so vividly. My family had been there, helping me like unpack or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had to like run somewhere to like get my like laptop set up for the internet or something crazy, like, take it somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like I'll be back. I come back. They're gone.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Just left without the official goodbye.
Just left without saying goodbye. And I was like,
oh, okay.
That works
that's
too.
How we're going to do this.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
It was fine though. I don't think of it as sad. It was just so much of like a reflection of like, all right. well. I'm going to be on this. Right, I'm going to do this on my own anyway. Yeah, so let's just get to it.
It. Yeah. Oh,
no, it's good.
Yeah. So that was hard. And then my son is 16 and is obviously still here.
Yeah.
He's awesome too.
Yeah. Great.
So,
okay. So where did this come from? We were talking about before, like you have been in some way, shape or form talking about this I
program,
feel like for many years.
Yes, absolutely. So in my practice for all this time, I feel like, and I feel like I've even said this on the podcast another time, patients are coming in wanting me to quote fix them, right? Something is wrong with them and they're asking for help and I'm supposed to give them a treatment and they just lay on the table and then they're going to be better.
Yeah.
And I felt most of the time I can make people feel better, but a lot of the time there's so much more going on behind the scenes that needs to be addressed. And I just did not know how to get to the like psychological aspect of what was going on. But the true like the mind body stuff going on. Yes. Yeah. And even if it was anxiety or depression, it was like I can get someone feeling better, but anxiety and not being really kind of connected to yourself is such a part of why people have anxiety. It's like this disconnected feeling. Or it could be headaches or it could be digestive issues, but there's such a psychological aspect going on that you can see it and hear it in the language people are using to describe things, but I didn't know how to like get into it and address it.
Did you feel almost like you were treating symptoms?
Yes.
Rather than getting to like
to the root.
The root is, hey, something's going on.
Right. And the nature of Chinese medicine is very much a root branch medicine, but they talk a lot about the mind body connection. Cause of disease being excess emotions is one of the biggest causes of disease. But
literally.
But we don't they don't really there's not a framework laid out for how to actually get in there and like work with that. It's more just
we have
correcting the energy of the body to try to do it, but it's sort of like chicken and the egg then, so it feels like you can kind of tune things up, but then if you haven't addressed what's going on in someone's mind, the pattern comes right back again. So began really looking for like what is the tool I can use to begin to get into the mind and psychological aspect a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And that was my gateway into the Enneagram, because
Yes.
that was how I felt like, oh my God, this is such a clear description of the mental pattern that's going on. I don't want to keep overusing that word, but it
is though.
It's
like
the mental like
your running
lens
program.
of how you're and
It's
how you're
your
looking at the
operating
world.
system.
Yes.
Yeah.
How you see things, how you take in information, how you respond, all of that. And it is so predictably laid out in this incredibly beautiful and incredibly intricate Enneagram system.
Mm-hmm.
So I started studying that, worked with a somatic Enneagram teacher, deep dive into certifications with that, and was like, okay, I found the tool to get in the door.
Yes.
Okay. So I can test people.
A framework, really.
Yes,
we need some sort of like
framework to work with
to navigate with it.
Yes.
Yeah. And that it's like replicable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes. It's such a predictable system.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the sort of the purpose of the Enneagram coming into it.
And really quick, for people who might not know about the Enneagram, like how would you describe it in just a quick kind of synopsis?
Elevator pitch of the
Enneagram.
Enneagram.
The elevator pitch of the Enneagram.
It is a personality typing system, but it is based on, there's 9 types. Each of the 9 types have a particular core fracture, and that core fracture that happens when we're developing. And none of these are intentionally done by our parents or our caregivers. It's just how we begin to perceive the world when we're very, very young. Mm-hmm. When we're very young, the prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking, rational brain, is not online yet. That doesn't start to come on until we're about 7 or 8 years old. So all those years before that, we're taking in information through our senses, the environment around us, and we're figuring out how to respond so that we stay in contact with our caregivers so that we can ensure our survival, because we are not meant to survive on our own as small people. We need the caretaker. So inadvertently, we start to develop ideas about how the world works based on that.
And this is just happening kind of like behind the scenes.
Yes.
We don't have like conscious control.
So you don't have like a conscious memory of something happening, but we have this implicit memory, and the implicit memory is the information and the sensory information that came in and how it was processed through. In the brainstem, we have the amygdala, which is that early response system. Mm-hmm. That's what's processing the information at that time and telling us how to respond outward in order to secure. It's like we're sorting information of safety and scared, threat, and we have to always try to seek safety. So whatever those behaviors are that get reinforced in safety, we start to learn, when I do this is a good thing, this is a good thing, more of this, more of this, more of this. So that sets up the foundation for the pattern to develop. The process of going through the testing it's behavior based, because that's how the testing has to be written, but really it's
you have to be aware of like behavior,
how
you show
behaving
up.
is how it's showing up, but really behind the behavior is the motivation. The motivation is for security and safety and survival. And there's like 9 ways that
can play out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so then I think of it, and maybe this is wrong, but it's almost kind of like how you're like addressing your core wounding.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like how it will show up.
How it shows up now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that your parents did to intentionally cause this, and there's nothing you can do to intentionally do it differently. It's just how it's set up.
Yeah.
And, then there's the argument of, is it, you can look at your astrology or your human design, like this chicken and the egg thing, and which one is more real or what. Well, this is just like how it expresses in this lifetime. So your imprint, you may come in with like a soul journey and already knows it's going to be a type 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it comes in, I don't know which way it goes.
We don't know.
But there is a soul imprint that comes in, and then it takes human form here, and this is how it's living out this life. And whatever we're going to learn from this life as a type 3, as a type 7, whatever, that's how you're operating in this world.
Yeah.
And so the awareness that came with that, because I felt like immediately when people are typed correctly and they read their description, it's like, oh my God, I feel seen for the first time, because it's so like, I didn't realize other people in their minds are processing this way. And that's exactly what is happening in my mind. I didn't know other people did that too. That's really interesting. Kind of makes you feel just not like
alone.
I don't want to, not alone. And like, there's not something wrong with me. This is how I've learned to
Right.
To
like
process.
some people, you have blue eyes, you have green eyes,
exactly,
you have red hair, whatever. Like,
right.
This is 9 different ways that you can kind of operate,
learn to operate in the world.
Yeah.
And then the beautiful part is that it is not a stationary system. It's very dynamic. And so if you ever see the Enneagram emblem or symbol, it's a 9-pointed geometric figure, and it shows our pathway for development and integration into being more of who we really truly are meant to be.
And kind of being able to like pull strengths or opportunities from all of the types, right?
So the symbol represents the whole, which is all 9 types as one, the whole. We're playing in one little facet of that symbol as our type. The goal is to be able to break out of that type structure, so we can inhabit more of the landscape of the 9 types. So we have access to all the other types through the lines of connections and integration. So that's our developmental growth, to not be stuck in our type and to be more of who we truly are possible. It's possible for us to be.
Yeah. We were talking before we started, and I feel like this past year for me has really just trying to be like, has just like a breakdown of my like type 3-ness.
Yeah.
Of just trying to like be like, who am I without this identity of achieving?
Right.
Or, you know, being productive in the way that I know productivity is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, for me, at least, I've kind of had to strip like so many things away to be like, who am I without my corporate job? Who am I without this like sense of achievement and like this kind of income based living? And
I remember you saying one time when we talked about it that you were afraid if you stopped all the doing, you'd be living in a trailer park.
Yes.
And you're not.
I know. When I was afraid when I got laid off, one that like, if I slowed down, if I like paused or just like took some time for me, that like I would lose any motivation that I ever had.
Right.
And I would become a lazy couch potato.
Right. And then end up in a trailer park.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
So far, I have not. But I have, funny enough, I have felt that once I'm kind of trying to like live in the space of like, if I'm not achieving, if I'm not producing, like, do I still have value? Do people like still want to be around me? Whatever. And as I've pulled back that, like intentionally just been like, what happens when I do less?
Yeah.
Or, you know, what happens if I, you know, try to show up in a different way? How do I feel? What is that like? I had so much conversation for myself around like working out because I haven't gone to the gym in 3 months.
Oh, wow. For you. Yes. That's
insane.
Yeah.
And what I found, which of course, like I know working out is so great for you and like I'm not like done working out, but I really do believe that I needed to take a hard break to be like,
the pressure you put on yourself to push yourself, to push myself.
Yes. And to like keep doing the best that you can and like work out in the best ways that you can and like, you know, show up in this way and like everyone knows you to be in this way. Like, well, what if I'm not?
Right.
Do people still like me?
Yes. And what
people
have you
still
found?
think I'm cool?
What have you found?
So far, people seem to still like me. And I still like me.
Yes. That's
you know?
awesome.
Like, yeah, it's tough. But
it's interesting. I have 2 other 3s that I'm working with right now. And they're the least likely that you think will come to the work because it's hard for them to be like, something doesn't feel right. And to take the pause to actually like self-examine it is sort of un-3-ish because they're like, just keep going, just keep doing stuff,
just
do
keep
more,
going.
do more. And
it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's been really uncomfortable. I've had to sit with so much of like, maybe I am lazy now because my motivation, it is not as high. Yeah. I'm not getting as much done. You know, like it's true. Like,
right. But are you still an inherently valuable person? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so.
Because we talked about that word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I was like, no, different people are more valuable than other people.
Right.
You can't disagree with me.
Yes.
But no, we've come around.
Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of like the foundation, the tool that.
So that, yes, with my practice, it was like, I needed a way to get into the mental aspects, the psychological aspects for people. So I do that. And I was like, okay, great. I've got this awareness thing. I know how to like walk people through the doorway of being a little bit more self-aware of what they're bringing to the table that may be contributing to how they're feeling.
Yes.
Now what?
That's what I'm saying.
So awareness is not the end of the road because we have to then know what to do with it in order to break out of it. Just because we know something doesn't mean we know what to do about it now. So then I was like, all right, now what's the next step? How do we start start moving somebody out of this stuck pattern?
Right. You're like, okay, good. I got it. I realize that the way I show up in the world is in order to be seen as valuable and lovable and worthy, I need to achieve things. I need to be productive. I need to show that like I can be of value to someone else.
So now that she knows this,
I know this.
How do we make any impact on changing that if that's not working for her anymore and she's feeling burnt out and I'm sick of being a different mask for every person I have to interact with. It's tiring. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's a great place to be. Now what? So I've had done many different meditation techniques throughout my journey of learning and came upon this particular method it's called the Silva method, but it's geared towards really specifically rewiring our thinking patterns. So the person who developed it was he was a really uneducated electrician in the 40s and was studying he was trying to help his kids learn better, studying meditation and hypnosis techniques, and developed the system. So it is sort of a hybrid of meditation and hypnosis.
Okay.
The goal is, so the process takes somebody from, being in our awake state down into the nice, deep, relaxed state.
And that's just like, is it like guided?
Yep.
Okay.
So I do it guided. Yep. So when I learned about this technique, I was like, oh my God, this is another piece, because this is exactly what we need to pair with awareness, is something to get into these, like the wiring of the brain. And that was his goal of creating this thing. So yes, it's a guided process. You get somebody down to, they call it level, when you're in a very, very deep, relaxed state. Your brain waves have now slowed down. You're not in this like really noisy, active brain state. But through the whole thing, you have a point of focus. So when people kind of struggle with this, the concept of meditation, sitting quietly and sitting still, you're getting a very focal point to something to focus on the whole time. And it brings that activity of the brain down. So the body's very relaxed, the mind becomes very relaxed. And at that place, we have a greater receptivity and access to the subconscious mind there.
Okay.
So then you can take somebody through, depending on what it is that time we're working on, a very specific thing, process at that level to try to talk about, okay, what are the barriers here? What are maybe the dysfunctional aspect of a certain type pattern? And how can we start to wire that in differently? So we use a lot of visualization and imagery in it. The key to that is that like nothing can exist in this world if we have not imagined or visualized it first, right? Even if it's what you're going to go eat for lunch, you have a thought about it before and then you're like, ooh, and it'd be really good with some tomato. Ooh, yeah. You think about it, you have an image of it in your mind before you create it here right in front of you. So that's the big piece of this, is using visualization in order to begin to imagine things to be a different way. And we do that while we're in that deep relaxed state, so that we can imprint it into the mind there. So then when we come out of the meditation, we've already created the beginning of that neural pathway.
Okay,
so
wow.
The imprint is there, and we just then we can keep revisiting it, but it's like the beginning of it.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. So if we're thinking about, you have this program kind of set up into three phases,
yes,
right?
Yep.
So phase one being the pattern recognition, see yourself clearly.
Yep.
Is that
that's the Enneagram piece. So before we start, so the program itself is set up as it's called the Authentic Living Method. It's designed in about it's a 12-week program. The first part of it is going through before I meet with someone the first time, we'll have done the Enneagram testing. So if they haven't done it before, and I use a particular test that's very accurate, they have to see what their pattern is. We need to also make sure they're typed correctly and all that. Yeah. That's the gateway. That's the doorway. Okay. I understand this. Wow. Holy, I didn't realize I was doing this. Okay.
Yeah. It is kind of an aha moment. I feel like when you can see it up close, like, spelled out for you, like, oh shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the first part of it. We go through the pattern, understanding the context of that pattern within the whole Enneagram system. And then the second part, the other part of that phase one is we begin the inner child work. So we go in meditation and do meeting the inner child process. Also huge part of that awareness piece, because that is really where all of this is was developed was from
Yeah.
the inner child. So
Yeah.
make contact with the inner child. She's on board now and ready for the rest of the journey. So
Yeah.
that's the beginning. The first phase is awareness and connection.
Okay,
Yep.
great. And then phase 2.
Phase 2 is the beginning of the disrupting our default pattern.
Okay.
So it's taking what we have now learned about ourselves and that pattern awareness. And now we see, okay, this is the pattern. This is going to be my default behavior. When I'm under stress or when I hate to use the word triggered, but when the
Do we have
external
another word for it? We
I don't
really
know.
don't.
I know.
Yeah. When you get your button pushed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something and it's going to be these reproducible things that are going to do it for each type structure.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're in a response system, a reactive state because of something around us happening, we have a default way we're going to respond to it. And so as we bring that awareness into it and go, oh, that's totally what I do when when whatever happens and my kid does this or my spouse does this is what I do in response. So as people start to see that happening in real time, they develop, it's like just that pause of before you react, I just need you to see it happening in real time. That's all we have to do right now.
Yeah.
See it happening in real time.
Yep.
So that's the second phase, is just disrupting the automatic impulse to react the way we always have.
So hard.
Yes. And then
So hard.
with the meditation techniques, as we're developing the awareness, starting to rewire another option. So if I'm a type 7. For the type 7, if it's under stress, you kind of escape into daydream and into the mind and into like, what else can I learn about shiny new object syndrome? If I catch myself doing that, I have to go, what is it that I'm avoiding right now? And then once I realize what that is that I'm avoiding, what's this discomfort am I not wanting to sit with right now? I can make a choice to like go into that, or I can make a choice to go, all right, I know I'm avoiding something. I'm going to consciously still choose to avoid it, or I'm going to consciously choose to go inside and see what's going on here.
Yeah. And so like for me, for a 3, like mine could be like just busyness.
Yes. Yeah.
Working, like just like putting myself into, and I had
doing for the sake of doing and being like productive and showing what you're capable of doing. Mm-hmm. Yes. So if you find yourself getting stirred up and like amped in that, which is great that you're saying you've been like, quote, lazy, because you are in more of that like pulled back space.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
I will know, Allie, I will consciously choose. Like if I see that, I can like pick up shifts or whatever, I might have like what I call like a marathon week. I might work like 5-6 shifts. And like, I really have to like test my endurance. I really have to like give it, everything I've got to like make all of this work. And I'm pretty much just like in work mode.
Yeah.
Like I had this happen not too long ago where like I was coming up on one of these and I heard myself, I felt myself go, oh my God, great. I just get to plunge into that. And that means I don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah. So
I have to have this one track mind to get everything that I want to get done.
Yeah. Right. So you're going and you're consciously doing it.
I knew
now.
it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
knew I was
Yeah.
doing it. I was
Yeah.
like, this is the best kind of distraction for me.
Yes.
Work is the best. And then on top of that, I'm getting rewarded for it because I'm getting paid.
Right. Exactly.
Great.
Who needs to deal with those emotions?
Yep. Yeah. But inevitably, it always comes back around.
Yeah.
Because then after that, if I haven't dealt with whatever I'm going to need to deal with, like it just
Absolutely.
crashes.
And that's kind of the whole thing is whatever we avoid just comes back harder and faster until we are really ready to deal with it. And that can look like a health crisis. That could look like a marriage crisis. That could look like a job crisis. It could look like a lot of different things.
Your mental health. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's taking the pause first and then conscious choice. Mm-hmm. Also, again, using the meditation to begin to rewire different options of responding. And then the last phase is how do we live with purpose now? So the whole thing
redesign,
is,
rebuild your life.
We're trying to break out of our pattern conditioning, what we've been told to do, what we've, been on this hamster wheel doing all the things, and we're going to get off of that. Now moving forward in this lifetime, what do I really want? And if you ask most people, what is it you really want? They're just like, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I've never taken the time to think about it. I'm just doing the next step.
Yeah.
College.
Yes.
Meeting somebody, getting married, having a kid, do your job.
Yep.
I'll retire one day and then I'll be able to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah. You give yourself like a good 5-6 years in the later part of your life to have fun.
Right. Well, and a lot of people don't even retire because they're like, what'd I do?
And they can't.
Yeah. Right.
You're kind of,
you're kind of, so it's this what do I really want? Who am I? What do I really want? And how do I want my life to look? And how can I begin to redesign it in the way that I want to be living this life? So
yeah,
that's the process.
So who do you think this program is best for? Like, who, the people that you've helped so far and that have gone through it, like, where are they coming from?
Because of my own like background and story, I resonate and seem like kind of attract that working mom that is like, you are just so worn thin because of your responsibilities for everybody else that it's just like, or it could be a stay-home mom, but there's this like giving of yourself to your children and your family that like your sense of self can get very lost in that, where it's like, I'm doing for everybody else, I'm taking care of all the responsibilities here, the household running, all of these things, and possibly trying to work at the same time. And it's like, where is the me in here?
I can't imagine, because I struggle with that on my own by myself.
Right.
Like solely only ever thinking of just myself. And it's hard to think about like, who am I really?
Yeah.
Like, what do I really want? Like who, like to even just like break
you
down
have more
years
of the time to think about it if you want to. Yeah. Yeah. So
let alone someone who's like working around the clock, taking care of a family,
it's very hard. And I think it gets very, like, women have given ourselves, it's a disservice that we have this expectation that we can do it all. We can have careers and we can be moms, and yes, we can. It's really hard to stay true to yourself and to not lose yourself in that process, because it's like how much time in the day is there, and it gets lost. And so you hit this 40-year-old mark and you're like, holy shit, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, I should be happy. Like, I don't even feel anything. I should be happy. And, I went through my own process of this in my early 40s. I was, my marriage was having a very hard space. And I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was like, okay, well, this is my wake up call to do things differently. I can't live in this space anymore. I am so just drained dry of keeping everybody happy, and that's my type 7. I got to keep everybody happy. Everybody's got to be okay.
Uplifted,
I can't handle the
we're not
nobody can be in a bad mood. The pressure on me to keep that going all the time. It was like, it clearly took its toll on me. So that, for my own journey, was like, I know what I wish I had at that time to help me rebuild after that. And it was my own, learning process to rebuild myself. And I had a wonderful therapist that is sort of my mentor that helped me through that. But this is like why that's sort of the person I want to help, is the people that are kind of hit this wall and they're like, I don't know what to do and how to get out of this.
And I say to comment on how difficult it is, not in a sense to scare people away from the work, but to encourage that, like, this is so admirable. And I just think like it's so courageous, right? To be like, okay, I'm going to just take the time, the investment on myself to be like, what do I want? How do I want my life to look after, so many years of just
doing it this way you've always done it. Yes.
Doing it
it's very courageous work.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who's done the work, who had to go through a divorce, who had to go through all of these hard things to get to where I wanted to be. You realize like it is kind of easier to live with your eyes shut and just like,
it is,
go through this sort of like half blind life.
Yeah.
Easier in a way that you don't have to make the hard decisions.
Yeah. And you get to arrive at the end of your life though and look back and think like, what was myself?
That? Yeah. What was
like
that?
Just myself.
Yeah.
Like who was I? How did I like let people in? How did I share who I am? Anything.
Yeah. And that going through the breast cancer stuff was like, hey, this is your one time here.
Right.
So how do you want the story to go?
Yep.
Make it yours. Don't just keep can't do it like this.
Yep.
So, I would love to help people avoid a health crisis like that. To wake up is, really would be my intent, is catching people before they get to that point. But
yeah. I've been thinking about this lately. I don't know, for no reason in particular, just like around like what people are going to say about you after you die,
Yeah.
And when, I've lost like really important people in my life and how I think about them, like what I say about them. And I feel like the best kind of compliment or comment you can give to someone after they die is like, they were so themselves.
Yeah.
You know, you
Absolutely.
might be like, that he was a character.
Yes. And yes. And when you're around someone that is themselves, you feel it.
Yes.
You're just like, oh, they're so comfortable to be. Well, it's because they're not trying to be anything else.
They're not trying to be anything. Yeah. And they like
want
inspire
that from
other
you.
people.
Yeah. Like, just relax.
It gives you
be
permission.
You. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like kind of like my guiding point, you know, just in this way.
It's
like,
interesting to bring it to that. 'Cause my dad passed away last summer. So it's not 25, but 24. And at his funeral, so my dad had started a company when before I was born, and at his funeral, there's, gobs of people there that have worked for him or whatever. And the same thing that everybody has said about him was like, he just had a way to kind of nudge you along your path. He might just like drop a book off at your desk one day that he'd be like, I need you to read that book. And then he'd follow up with you in a week and see if you read it, just to keep nudging people along their path. And that after he passed away, like that's a whole other conversation of loss, but just to be like, in honoring him too, I need to step up what I'm doing. And so like you said before, I've been working on this for years.
Yes.
After he died, it's like, get your shit together. Let's start doing this. Okay. This is what you want.
Yep.
Get it together, get the program. So I took the last year of just really kind of like coming inside and getting this, the program really designed in a way that I feel like this works. This actually, like I can start I'm taking someone from A to Z and it's a process, but really kind of feel like in honor of my dad, that feeling like, when I die, what's my legacy?
Right. For sure. For sure. I think that, it's,
did I impact people's lives in the way that I want to?
Right.
And not like, yes, I impact people's lives in a positive way in my practice, but I want to get beyond my practice door to be able to reach people in a bigger and more impactful, lasting way. So.
Well, and I think like you have had, over 20 years of experience of treating people where you've been able to see this come up time and time and time again, where you're probably left feeling like, oh yes, I get that I'm helping you, but I could be doing more.
Yes.
I could be doing more.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the answer
exactly
to that. And this is something that I'm so passionate about, because I just look around and I see so many people like living their life in such a way that just seems like so like on autopilot.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing of like, like I did everything I was supposed to do. I did, hit certain milestones, this and that, like what everyone was telling me. And here I am, like kind of hating my life.
Yeah. Just kind of blah. Like,
and I don't mean to like shit so much on corporate America. It's just like how the experience has shown up for me, and working in this corporate world and doing this job that I enjoyed and that I was really good at, but it was always this feeling of like, it's not me.
Right. Well,
I can do it.
That's the nature of corporate America. They don't want you to be you, because if you were you'd be like, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was always this like, I can show up in this way. I can like be this type of person when I'm there, and then okay, good, then I get to like be who I really am, with my friends or outside of work or whatever. And I recently had to go into an office for like a leadership program that I'm doing, and I was like, I hadn't been downtown during working hours, like people like walking around like like going to their office corporate jobs. This isn't to say that people can't really enjoy what they do and find value in the work and whatever. But as I was just like looking around the office, like watching everyone in the clothes that they hated wearing, the lunches that they're hating to eat.
You're just like cringing being back in it.
So many bags carrying, because like you got to go out the door and you got to think about the whole fucking day, or maybe you got to go pick up a kid. You got to do, all this stuff. And I just got this sense, this like energy of like, people are not really being who they are.
No. Because they have to be just like, I'm the worker bee. I'm the worker bee going to do my thing. Yeah. But really, it's a culture that breeds you to be conditioned and stay in like the expectations of what we need from you, and give you the little carrot dangle. Yep. Just keep coming along, and you're going to get the reward at some point. That's the nature of corporate America. And yes, we need it in order to like keep the wheels moving. Yeah. But I hope that people don't feel like they have to spend their entire lives there, unless that is really what feeds them.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying too, is like that I'm not saying that every woman out there should go and quit their corporate job. I don't know. Maybe I am actually. Maybe I am actually saying that.
Like, you got lucky by getting laid off. And
literally,
hopefully you see it as lucky.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And of course, I understand that, like, these are people's livelihoods, and if they built their career, and this is how they sustain themselves, and like there's restrictions and restraints and just realities of life.
Yeah.
But damn it, if I don't think that every woman out there should quit their corporate job.
Know. It's sad.
And find out who they are and contribute to the world, like something that only they can do.
Right, I know. Wouldn't that be amazing? And then if more people, the point of this work is really if more people could do that and take the time, like the exponential like positivity that we have in this world just grows and grows and grows. The point of this work is the more I can come in contact with myself and my true nature and find inner love for myself that I can now project outward into the world, how much better the world is going to be.
So much better.
It's just the domino effect of doing work that it's the ripple effect that goes outward. That it's not just about your life feels better, but everyone around you is inspired. They do better. It's versus what we're living in right now of just negative dump all the time.
And hyper independence and like this, like,
I can do it all. I can do it all.
I can do everything on my own. I don't need community. I don't need support. I don't need connection. I can just live in this little structured tower that I built for myself and move along.
Robot my way through life. Yeah.
And of course, I'm so happy that this is available for women. But what I truly believe is that we need a counterpart.
Yes, for men.
We need this for men so badly.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is, women, okay, we're getting so aware. We have tools. We have resources. We can move about in the world. Well, we're leaving half the population behind. And then we're actually kind of screwing ourselves if we want to think about being in connection and being in partnership with someone.
Right.
Because we haven't, again, maybe it's always our fucking responsibility anyway to do something for them and help them along. But you know what I mean? Like, we're leaving them behind with no tools.
Well, we've shamed them for being masculine, and then we shame them for being too weak.
Yep.
And they're like, which do you want? Which one do you want?
People need help. People in general need help, but specifically men for this too.
My partner that I am with will be almost 5 years.
Yeah.
He has, done a lot of his own self diving into things. And do you know the podcaster Chris Williamson?
No.
Modern Wisdom is his podcast.
Know.
Really good. We just went to see him speak in Austin and got to meet him afterwards. He's so for men. Bro man, yes.
Great.
And speaks of emotions and struggles and all of the things. So when we met him afterwards, I was like, I just need to tell you, as being a partner to this man, and if you meet my boyfriend, he's very masculine looking, he's a police officer, he's, this stereotypical masculine male.
Yeah.
I said, to be in partnership with a man like this and like what you have done for him to open up those conversations, and that it's like okay to be vulnerable and have emotions, and how do we navigate all this stuff? Like, I got teary-eyed talking to him about it, and he got teary-eyed hearing me thank him for what this conversation for men needs to happen.
Definitely.
So it's hard.
Sometime soon.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Is there anything else about the program that we haven't touched on that you'd want people to know about and hear about?
That's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah.
I think it's just, if you're at a place in your life where you're just sort of like, I don't know what's next for me, and I know that I don't want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I want to change. I look at myself as kind of just like, I'm laying the breadcrumbs down and you're picking it up as we go along. I'm just kind of guiding a process, but it's really is for you to dive into. And everybody that I have worked with so far has had very great responses from it. They're just like, right out of the gate, just like, I just feel calmer. I feel like just knowing that I'm working through this, and it's the whole, we go into nervous system regulation, everything that, like, right off the bat, you're just kind of like, okay, I can do this. This is not as overwhelming as I thought it was.
It seems like it's the solution to this problem that I brought forward a few weeks ago in the podcast of like, awareness is the first key. Cool. We're aware. Now what?
Right. Absolutely.
And here's like, okay, here's what.
Yeah. We're gonna break it into pieces.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start to just tweak those a little bit, and how your response mechanism. We go into emotion decoding, and okay, when you're feeling angry, what is that really telling you? When you're feeling sad, like how to actually use our emotions as messengers and not just like falling into like, well, I'm just pissed.
And this is the truth, and this
Yes,
is the absolute.
yeah,
And
right. That
yeah.
emotions are not reality. They are messengers of
Yeah.
what's really going on. So we go into that. There's layers and breaking it apart and working through it. And, I'm very proud of it.
Yeah,
It was really like a labor of love to get it all to this point.
Yeah.
And, I have to stop myself from being like, what else can I also,
No,
and
for
just
sure.
be like, this is it. It'll be a living and breathing. And with each person, the process can show up a little bit differently, but it is designed as 12 weeks. That's been a pretty good pace for everybody to go through so far. I hope in the spring to launch a group program because I've over the last year, I've been doing a lot of workshops too.
Yep.
The group dynamic of this type of work is really great because you do get to understand like, Chrissy totally responded that differently than I would have done it. Like you just really, in contrast to other people, understand yourself and the people around you better. So I love the group dynamic. So I'd like to have a group cohort start in the spring.
That's cool.
And all of it I'm doing virtually. So you don't have to be here or, and recording things if needed. So with the program right now, I'm doing on video call, and there's worksheets and guided recordings and recorded meditations and all kinds of stuff to work through.
Where can people find out more?
My Instagram is Ali Trebbi or Ali in Life. They're both on there. My website is alitrebbi.com. Last name is Trebbi.
Yep.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. One final question for you that we must end with. What does being fit mean to you? You've answered this before.
Yes,
How has it changed or stayed the same?
Well, I think in my perimenopausal era, I'd say to like not be in pain. Oh my God. Yeah. No, I mean, that's part of it. Again, I think being fit is being authentic and true to yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Best answer. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you. I'm really excited for this work. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, people can.
I feel excited about it.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Chrissy Gurley and at What the Fit Podcast. Full video episodes will be available on Spotify and YouTube, so follow and subscribe. If you're loving What the Fit, please help spread the word. Send it to a friend, share it to your story, and if you're looking for even more exclusive content, become a Patreon member. You can find it at patreon.com/whatthefitpodcast.